Hi guys, welcome back to episode 9 of In the Vault with Ali and Shane.
Hello, everyone.
How are you, my gorgeous little buttercup?
Good. Just plugging in my headphones so they don't die.
Love.
I'm doing great, except the most awkward thing happened to me at the gym today.
Tell me.
So I do this class called Abs, Buns, and Guns. It's like a mat work Pilates.
It's my favorite name.
You know you're working those abs, those buns, and those guns.
It's guns, honey.
Anyway.
It's so like 2000s coded. That's such a 2000s Pilates class
But
name.
you know what? That's what I want. I want the toxic 2000s back. I've had too many treats. I need a little bit of toxicity in my life, actually.
Yeah, put me in line.
So when you go in there, you can get cold towels because it's so hot in there. It was a full class and I was right next to this girl and our towels were close together. At least I thought my towel was close to hers, except mine was actually on the other side of the mat. Halfway through the class, I grab her wet towel thinking it's mine and I just start wiping my face. Start like putting it on my house.
Stop.
And I'm like,
one that she had used already.
It was in a pile. And she just like looked at me like, that's my towel. And I was like, I'm so sorry.
That is such an Ali thing to happen. You tell me these things and I'm like, oh, that's so Ali.
Embarrassing. Anyway, so I had to go out. I had to go out of the class and get her another cold press.
You were like, here's your cold pressed, honey. I don't know if I told you, I went to Rumble a couple of weeks ago and I went to sit on a bench that I thought was mine. And mind you, this class was like 4 people in it. And this girl comes in, girl number 5, and that was it. There was 5 people in the class. She's like, you're actually on my bench. You can go to any other bench but this bench. And I was like,
what?
Girl, there's 5 benches in this whole class. You're telling me you need this exact bench? And like, I'd forgotten which bench I was supposed to be on.
Oh, because Rumble, you pre-book your bench.
Pre-book.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You pre-book a bench. But I'm like, is it really that deep? There's 5 people in this class.
No, that's
You know
happened.
what I mean?
That's literally happened to me where someone was like, you're on my bench because I was doing run club where halfway through the run, you then go down and do weights. But she didn't say anything while I was watching the instructor do the form stuff. She was just lingering behind me and then started putting her water bottle under the bench and everything like that. And I was like, oh, sorry, is this your bench? And she goes, yeah, see the number? It's connected to the running machine. And I was like, let's redo this. Let's redo it.
Yeah.
A normal person would say, sorry, like if you don't know, they're connected. If you go to what number running machine were you on? Oh, so you're going to be over there. That's how you do it. You don't just like come up behind someone. I don't know. Why are you so passive aggressive?
What happened to kindness?
You would have thought about that whole Rumble class as well.
Oh, for sure I was.
You would have just been boxing like, oh my God, I was on the wrong.
I was thinking about it the whole class and then I like just ducked out and ran at the end because I was like, I don't want to engage with this girl. And her locker was right next to my locker. But showbiz.
That's showbiz. Well, on a brighter note, there is this trend going around, the Justin Bieber Hallelujah song, Everything Hallelujah. Everyone's talking about their hallelujahs for the week. So what are some of your hallelujahs? Do you want me to start with mine?
You start with yours, yeah.
Give you a little chance to think.
Yeah, give me a little thinky poo.
It's not like I maybe messaged it on last Wednesday or anything like that.
It was actually yesterday, FYI, last night. Sorry.
Okay, so my hallelujahs are my Wednesday Abs, Buns, and Guns classes.
Cute.
Catch me with a beautiful booty, gorgeous arms, and a toned washboard abs. My beauty chef, Sleepy Hot Chocolate, Hourglass Skin Veil. It is the best.
Okay.
Best light skin tint around. Durkos Anti-Dandruff Shampoo because she's a flaky queen. And then obviously my Oral-B 3D whitening strips, which I talk about a lot and I garner a lot of traction on my videos where I talk about that. And they have never reached out to work with me, pitched myself. And they do not want a slice of the grey.
They don't want a slice of the grey, doll. And I don't blame them.
Whenever I want to bring Shane down a peg, I call him Sean.
I've never heard you call me Sean before in my life. I think you're making that up.
Okay.
You're making that factor. Over to Sean.
Sean.
Okay, Alexandra, my hallelujahs are, I love the Davinaires. They have this beautiful curl styler, which I've got in my hair right now. My hairdresser, who I went to today, she's also going to get a hallelujah shout out. My hallelujah is Angelica Mutti, a fellow Italian diva who knows how to cut Italian hair. I love her so much.
Your last name is Sutherland, but okay.
And my dad is white as a toilet and my mum is not, okay? But it's a curl building serum. So like it really helps shape the curl. That's my hallelujah. My other hallelujah would be, I think, my tuna rice bowls that I've been having this week. They've been getting me through, doll.
Shane has been talking about these tuna rice bowls. Tell
I've been loving
people
them.
what's in them.
I've got greens. I've got some sugar snap peas, some broccoli, and some beans. And then I've got tuna, nori. I make sushi rice, so with like the rice vinegar and the sugar and the salt.
Oh, yum.
And then, yeah. And then top it with some Kewpie mayo, the best mayo in the world.
So good.
Love.
You can't have tuna, like a tuna rice ball, and just have like a Hellman's mayo. No.
I'd rather jump out this window right now than have a Hellman's mayo. And then my last hallelujah would probably be...
It's work related.
Well, yeah, it's a new product that I've been using that I've been loving.
Okay, yeah. They do have to pay us, obviously, if it's going to get mentioned.
You can talk about it next week. Excuse me, you just rattled off every job you've had in the last 6 weeks. Shut up. So it's my Durkos and my
Durkos for your dandruff needs.
I love Durkos so much.
I've got a bottle here if you just want to check out what it looks like.
Yeah, let me just lather this up right now.
Used it today, actually. Can everyone see?
Oh, you know what else? You know what my last hallelujah is? My last hallelujah would be my Shark Flex style.
So good.
Loving her lately. Can I say, it really whips out your hair lickety-split. It gets your hair done quick. Because I've got the Kerastase Gloss Ultime, sometimes when I use that, I'll then blow dry my hair because that's how it's supposed to be best used. So I've been like playing with that and doing that, and I've been really enjoying doing it for work especially because your hair just looks nice and sleek, and sometimes I want a little straight moment, you know? It's the only part of me I can make straight, doll. So may as well try.
Actually, I was going to say, with your Gloss Absolute, would you ever use just a diffuser, like the Shark diffuser?
Well, I have the attachment. Can I be so real? I actually don't know how a diffuser works. Do I just
Google it for men? I think that's how you do it. You sort of just ruffle it and that way you just have more defined curls.
I'll give that a crack, doll, and I'll circle back.
Have you seen anything about bachelorettes recently?
I have, if we're talking about acquired style, who... Can I tell you I didn't know existed before this weekend? So
I love her. And so originally Acquired Style, aka Bridget Fillouche. She has probably created the Bachelorette of the century.
Yeah.
So I've followed her for a very long time. She does a lot of, originally a lot of like hair curling tips. And she has just been on the comeuppance. She's not one of those COVID influencers that has really shot up through COVID. She was grinding for maybe probably, I want to say 3 years. And she's like really made it in the New York City influencer world.
Slay.
She has gotten engaged maybe a year ago.
Yes.
And she, has had the biggest bachelorette I've ever seen. So it started off with a private jet to St. Bart's and then a villa and 16 of her closest friends.
Yes.
When you have a look at this content, you think, wow, amazing. How is she affording all of this? And then you start to look in the back of all of their videos and you start to see, what's Swan Beauty? There's like little pillows everywhere.
Honey.
It's sponsored, honey. Nothing's free in this world.
So Swan Beauty is obviously at the center of this. They're an AI skin analysis mirror at home, essentially, right? So it scores your face across multiple concerns. It can also do AR makeup overlays from celebrity makeup artists, which I thought was really interesting.
That is so cool.
It also helps you track your skin over time and recommends products based on your current skin needs. And then it also has the built-in camera and lighting for content creation. It's kind of like this all-in-one, and it retails for $7.95
US dollars?
USD, correct. Yeah. I did say to Josh, though, doll, expect that to be on my Christmas list. I want it.
I want it too.
I love a beauty tech item.
Me too. And also you have to pair it with the app that they have as well, which is a $94 US dollar app for the year.
Or I think $9.99 a month. I think you can sign up for the yearly and get your, you know how they always do that, like 10% off for a year or $9.95 a month. There's a membership for everything. I pay $9.99 to own a Tesla a month. I pay, for the art on my art TV. God, everything's that's how they get ya.
Even an alarm clock, like those sunrise alarm clocks, you have to pay for the app. And it's like, I don't need an
Crazy.
app for everything in my life. If I've bought the product, I've bought the product.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
oh, it's so
But
annoying.
this is like, I find this interesting because it's like almost, I feel like they've taken like the Peloton approach to your skin, right? Like it's this at home offering. And we've seen this intersection a lot for like a really long time. We're kind of seeing fitness, beauty, wellness. It's all kind of merging into one. So I actually think the concept of this mirror itself, where it's not new and we've had skin analysis devices for a long time, it's really interesting. And I find it like very engaging as a concept.
And also with the age of looks maxing as well, people want to
Yeah,
look like the best version of themselves.
they
And
do.
if your product promises that people can improve themselves, that's enough said. Like I
That's
can
right.
get a one-on-one tutorial. Yeah, okay, given it's like pre-recorded, but a one-on-one tutorial with a famous makeup artist on how to do my makeup. Amazing.
Yeah,
The beauty industry is predicted to be about 700 billion US dollars by the end of 2026.
that's crazy.
With AI and all these new AI things, I think that it's going to be even bigger, especially with now tech is, getting involved in and how we're going to interact with beauty. Because even have you heard of the app Quoves? It's all
No.
over my Instagram feed. Well, the app Quoves, essentially, you can go online, you submit a photo of yourself, and it uses
Yeah.
AI generation to tell you how you can improve yourself through your eyebrows, like how you should style your hair, how you should color your hair. And it even goes into what surgeries you can do to improve yourself. This is where we're heading. This is literally where we're heading. And the proof is in the pudding with Swan Beauty. Like, let me throw some stats at you, Shane. Okay. I think
Tell me.
because they weren't known, people were starting to go, what's Swan Beauty? What's Swan Beauty? So they have had, since this Bachelorette trip, they had 19.9 million in brand impressions
Correct.
on TikTok
Yeah.
and Instagram. Website views are up by 520% week on week,
Mhm.
2,700% increase in Google searches. The app downloads are up by 4,000% week on week, and app
Mhm.
signups are up by 1,900%. And I think
Yeah.
it's done so well because it actually doesn't feel like an advertisement.
And also to add on that, doll, it's $1.7 million in earned media value in a week.
Insane.
Huge. Like that's huge. From a PR perspective, this campaign for the outlying costs, I think the ROI is insanely huge. Let's just say, right? And like these are very, very top line. The PJ, right? The PJ with Swan branding, luxury villa stay. Let's just say that's anywhere between like $20,000 to $50,000. Flight costs for the round trip is probably 85K to 100K, right? Mirrors placed throughout the villa, so whatever that cost would cost them. 7 creators gifted the mirrors, and then Bridget was required as part of her deliverables to post 15 plus pieces of content at the bare minimum. So let's just say we're talking 150K USD roughly. Might have been a little bit more, might have been a little bit less, because as we know, working behind the scenes, often there's like media rates for things where like the private jet service in partnership with Swan might have offered them a discount. You know what I mean? So like, let's just say it's anywhere between 100 and 150K. To have this kind of result is insane. Like it's huge, huge. The 4,000, like they've already made the money back. You know what I mean?
Within those 15 posts, there were actually no requirements for them. So they didn't
No.
have to hit any key messaging. And can I just say, can we, like, as businesses, when you're reaching out to creators,
Yeah,
let them be a creator? This
for
is
sure.
this is why it's done so well. There were no
Yeah.
key messages. Let the
No.
creator create.
I think
Annoying.
I think it's a fine line, right? I think like some launches need key moments and key messages, but I think if something is fun and if something's just cute and elevated and like doesn't need to tie into a huge, not every launch needs to tie into a huge key launch theme,
Mhm.
right? I think sometimes things just need to be fun for being fun, and that's what creates virality and that's what creates these moments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think trying to force things down people's throats is often where brands go off kilter and the messaging slips, if anything, and like it gets boring, you know?
And what they were really smart with is obviously Bridget and her sister are influencers, but a lot of their friends are influencers too. So you're
Yeah.
getting more bang for your buck. You're actually getting 16 or 17 different people that all have different platforms
Yeah.
to post all this content. What a great thing to do. And I think this is definitely RIP to the influencer brand trips like we saw from Tarte.
Yes. This makes the Tarte trips look like play school as well.
People don't like, I think if I was an influencer on a brand trip, you kind of still stick to your like recommended posts. But this is
Yes.
like, it's a girls' weekend and you're just having fun and everyone's feeling
Yeah.
really upbeat and Swan's just in the background. You don't have to mention it. Like, it makes
Mhm.
people want to post more.
For sure. And can I say, this is always the approach I take when I'm throwing my brand trips as well. I think it's important to have branded moments like Swan has done, that being like ambient decals and little moments like that. But I find the biggest return I've seen on a brand trip is when influencers are just able to be there and have the freedom to post organically and not feel this huge need to shove messaging down people's throats. So what I think is most interesting to kind of wrap this out is that this whole focus on monetizing moments, we're seeing this happen a lot more now, that brands are getting behind these moments and amplifying them through people, amplifying these moments through people and tying them back to the brand. I find that so interesting. And it's been interesting to see the internet's response, obviously, because, where people are saying this is cool and it's like a great brand moment, people are also saying it's like dystopian, elitist, and the epitome of overconsumption, right? And this is truly consumerism at its worst, also at its best.
You're telling me you wouldn't have a fully sponsored bachelor or bachelorette trip with all your
Oh, doll.
friends and all it took
If
was
I could get
15 posts? Shut up.
If I could, if I could get the GFs on the PJ, I'm down. I'm posting for all you girlies.
Get off that high horse and come party on the PJ. So,
sip a champers, run your skin through the Swan AI, and get on this PJ. Doll, on that note, should we talk about another AI moment that's really blowing up right now?
Yeah, definitely.
AI influencers.
AI influencers, they are everywhere and they are not disclosed that they're AI influencers, are they? Actually, recently, Hanson and Gretel, their Australian fashion label, they just got into some hot water because they didn't disclose that their models in a recent campaign were AI. It all came down to when someone said, wow, what a beautiful model. What's their handle? And they said, oh, we're actually trying out doing AI. And then obviously it blew up and everyone's like, how dare you? Because that's not actually how the fit of the clothes are then.
No, I don't understand AI modeling, right? Because in its core, people look to these images to, as you said, see people and see the clothes on form, like on a human being. And we all know that is not ever a true reflection, but AI is less of a true reflection than a size 6 model wearing a piece of clothing, right? At least it gives you an idea of looking at it, you can see the fabric and how that looks. It's those details are lost through AI, right? I saw the photos and they were very deceiving. I was incredibly shocked when I think this was maybe a couple of weeks ago, right? They launched.
Yeah. I didn't pick up that they were AI. They were very.
Nor did I. I think they were very good dupes. And that's the thing that's shocking me about AI influencers. It is becoming increasingly hard to see them. Going back, doll, back to my uni days, I'll talk to you about Lil Michaela. Do you know Little Michaela?
No. Tell me about Lil Michaela. Who's Lil Michaela?
Who's Lil Michaela? Lil Michaela is an AI influencer. She's been around since 2016. Right?
AI.
Very much the OG AI influencer. She has 2.9 million followers and she did break the internet. So I'm very shocked you didn't know about her. She looked like a real influencer. She posed like a real influencer. She had a personality, a whole friendship group, opinions, and even internet drama. It's crazy. We did a whole subject on her, doll, at uni.
Did you?
Yeah. UNSW was ahead of the curve, doll. She's landed major brand deals, released music. It's crazy. She's kind of done it all. And is definitely the blueprint for what we're seeing today. I find it interesting that we're seeing this shift towards AI influencers and an artificial person promoting real life product.
Yeah, I mean, even with Sheerluxe, right? Sheerluxe is a
Mm.
British fashion Instagram and well, they also have a blog and like shopping site and everything like that. But they launched a couple of years back a Middle Eastern woman who was AI. And that caused a huge kerfuffle because people were like, well, one, she's a woman, and two, she's Middle Eastern, so she's a person of color.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you just get a regular person who was Middle Eastern to do this? Why did we have to do someone who was AI generated? Despite the backlash for it, they've actually come out with 3 additional AI influencers of a few different races, and they're really pushing it. And honestly, I follow all of them and I enjoy their content. But
Wow.
I enjoy their content knowing they're AI.
So they use them on the Sheer Lux website, but they also have whole worlds based around them, kind of like Lil Michaela.
Yeah, so they have their own Instagram. So if you don't know much about Sheerluxe, a lot of the Sheerluxe girls have are really popular on Instagram as well because they're super fashionable, they have great beauty choices. But the thing that happens when you have an employee, right, is they can leave. So
Yes.
they've had a few things where people have left, new people have come in, and I think that what they've done is they're like, okay, well, we'll build someone who's AI, who is quintessentially Sheerluxe that can never leave, essentially. So I think that's probably what they were thinking in doing that.
Mm.
Not too
Yeah.
sure. But the thing is, they do disclose it's AI. But they do recommend like makeup and skincare and hair products, and you just go, well, you don't have skin, you don't have hair.
Girl, you don't have skin, you don't have hair, you don't have a body.
But the only thing about Sheerluxe is there's real people on the end of it. So I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Like I agree.
Well, this is and I'm going to circle back to this because this is my problem, right? This is my problem with the situation. You are taking money away from models who work their whole career to get jobs with brands like Sheerluxe. Some of them are dream, goals. And then also on top of that, the artists that actually create not AI, but create human like artistic form online that get bundled in with this AI generated generic kind of imagery that work really, really hard to create their images. One of my very good friends, Jason, is one of those artists. And I do find it quite sad that these jobs where you have AI celebrities on the cover of a magazine are being handed over to a computer to generate and then they call it a day and not handing it over to an artist that has honed their craft and worked so hard to get where they are today.
Yeah.
To have that ripped away from them by a computer that's destroying the environment is low-key sad.
I completely agree. And also, this is
Yeah.
literally the worst AI has ever been.
Mhm.
There is still little key pieces when you look at an image or a video that you go, oh, that's AI. But there will
Yeah.
be a time where it will look so realistic and things aren't going to
Yeah.
be disclosed that they're AI. Isn't that so scary?
And can I say, sis, I wasn't being duped up until like this year. And then I saw those Hansel and Gretel images and stuff, and I was like, oh my God, I thought I was smarter than this. You know what I mean? Like, I thought I was smarter than this to be able to clock that quicker.
I mean, it's really just a watch this space situation, right? I think that, yeah, this is going to start coming into advertising and out of home placements. Why would I have to hire a model, hire a makeup artist, hire a photographer, hire a set, all of that when I can just get it generated by AI? I think there'll also be some regulations that are going to have to come in on having to disclose something as AI.
For sure. And I also think it's up to us as consumers to continue to actively revolt against it.
I agree.
I think it's up to us as consumers to continue to be outraged and continue to feel upset and annoyed by this, or else brands will continue to do it and continue to try to pull the wool over our eyes. Where I think AI has a space in, helping with efficiencies and productivity, I don't believe it has a space in completely annihilating job roles. Okay, doll, I'm going to hit you with my worst Bachelorette confession. Okay, so this Bachelor weekend didn't just go wrong, it went criminally wrong. It starts off normal, private villa, matching silk PJs, the bride is already crying, red flag, but everyone's like, it's just emotions. Sure, Night one. Why
Crying.
is she crying already?
She's in a villa, matching pajamas.
Yeah, girl, you're sliving. Why are you crying? Night one of the bridesmaids, who no one really knows, by the way, decides she's the vibe curator, which apparently means forcing everyone to take tequila shots every 20 minutes. Not optional, military level enforcement. Cut to 11:47 p.m. Specific, the bride disappears. Without a trace. No phone, no shoes, and no explanation. Half the group is crying, the other half is still doing shots. Yeah, because we paid for the tequila package. They eventually find her in the lobby arguing with a random couple because she thought they were talking about her. 2, hungover, fragile, emotionally unstable, someone suggests a healing beach day. Beautiful in theory. Can I say, doll? Nothing helps a hangover more than a beach day. Yeah, get in the
Ocean has
ocean.
to be cold.
Cold.
Cold, yeah.
Agreed. Except the same mystery bridesmaid brings party favors, not the cute kind. The kind that immediately send 3 girls into existential spirals and 1 into a full-blown argument about who actually puts the most work into the weekend.
Wait, what?
Beef. Bridesmaids beef. At this point, alliances have formed. There's factions. There are whisper circles. By dinner, 2 girls are no longer speaking. 1 girl has booked an early flight home, and the bride is now questioning the entire wedding. And then the final blow. The groom somehow hears about the weekend through Instagram stories before the bride even gets home. So what we have is a fractured bridal party, a missing $3,000 villa damage deposit, and a wedding that is hanging by a thread. Moral of the story, if someone introduces themselves as the vibe curator, run.
This feels like it didn't need to go this way.
No.
Nothing actually happened for this
No.
behavior to happen. And girls are notorious for this. And I'm not trying to be a pick me, but girls do love to just get in a group and just start bitching and start beef.
Can I tell you already? I know this is a white girl called like Whitney. Like I know. I just know. That's her vibe. Or like Jessica. You know?
Shane, I've got one.
Tell me.
It's a debacle though. They're asking for our help.
Okay.
Yeah. People need us. Hi guys, I need your advice. I'm currently in a bit of a situation with a bachelorette. One of my close friends is getting married and her bachelorette is coming up, but it's turning into a very expensive, very intense weekend. We're talking flights, accommodation, activities, outfits for every night, and of course, covering for the bride. And I obviously want to be there for her to celebrate, but I'm starting to feel a bit overwhelmed by the cost and the expectations. Yes, the cost and the expectations. It also feels like there's a lot of pressure to be on the whole time to participate in everything when really that's not my vibe. Okay, she's a little bit introverted. Yeah. I don't want to come across as a bad friend or not supportive, but I also don't want to stretch myself financially or emotionally just to keep up. So my question is, how do you navigate bachelorettes when they start to feel like too much? Is it okay to opt out of certain things or set boundaries? Or is that just kind of expected when you're part of the bridal party? When she said flights, like you do have to make a decision whether you're in or out. If you were just popping over somewhere that was local, you could be like, oh guys, I might just do night 1. You know what I mean? But since you're flying somewhere, I think you either commit or you don't go.
Or you don't. 100%.
Sorry. But if the bride wants, neon theme for her Friday night, get down, and you're just there in your black cami, not participating, then you're the dickhead. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You've got to participate. And that's just the reality.
Exactly. Yeah, I think as a bridesmaid or a bridesman, there is definitely an expectation to be there, don't you think? I don't think you can opt out of being there, but I think you can opt out of...
She's a bridesmaid.
Yeah, she is. That's what I mean.
Yeah, you have to go.
Like, you have to go.
Sorry, you knew your friend was going to get married eventually. You have to have a say.
For sure. I also think as well, like, if you don't have the capacity to do things, I think it's important to be honest from the onset, right? And be like, hey, guys, I actually don't have the capacity to do X, Y, and Z. I can support with A and B. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's okay to really set like a clear expectation of what you can support and handle. But I think you can't completely opt out as a bridesmaid. Like, sorry, you knew what taking on the bridesmaid's role meant. And I think
that's the thing. When you get asked if you want to be a bridesmaid, that does come with the commitment.
100%. Dollar signs are gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like your friendship should supersede the dollar amount that it costs to be part of this.
Do not be a wet blanket.
No.
Don't go, "Oh, I can't do that because I can't afford it." You took on this role as a bridesmaid.
Yeah.
So you now need to make this about, it's not about you, it's about the bride.
That's right. You need to start finding ways to make it work.
So I'm glad we covered that. Thank you so much for writing in.
Thanks, Diva Boots. Before we wrap, I have some Reddit comments.
Yeah.
They're a mix of worst and best Bachelorette and Bachelor. I think they're mainly Bachelorette.
Okay.
I'll start with worst because everyone loves the worst case, and then we'll work to best. When we started out that night, the bachelor party was at a strip club. The bride-to-be had initially okayed her fiance's attendance, but about an hour in, she decided she wasn't okay with it after all. In brackets, the bachelorette party had hired strippers, so hypocrisy much? And he had to leave. The rest of us didn't feel too good about sticking around without him, so we went bar hopping, which it turns out his bride didn't like the idea of either, for fear of him hooking up with some rando.
Okay, she doesn't trust this man.
No, this is a problem. We then sat around his place getting drunk while this dude tried to console his historical fiancée, who was deeply depressed that she'd ruined his bachelor party. Fast forward about a year, news broke that she had cheated on him with a stripper at her bachelorette party, and I'm pretty sure she had been projecting. They didn't get divorced. Like, you're pretty sure she's been projecting? That was a very clear, obvious projection. Anyway, they didn't get divorced, but probably should, considering how things are going for them these days. And that's a read. Next story, doll. It was a former friend. Started off the day with brunch, which was great. Then she wanted to gamble and expected everyone to give her money when she got to the casino. I think we ended up giving her $150 to gamble with. She blew that in like half an hour. Can I say $150 is a bit stingy? What'd you all rack up $10 each? Anyway, if you turned around to me and you were like, "Oh, can you guys give me $300 to slap on the pokies?" I'd be like, "Doll, waste of money," but like, that's coming out of your drink budget, you know?
Yeah, we can move some money around in your
Yeah, we
budget.
can move some money around. Don't expect it, you know what I mean? She then wanted us to cough up more money. Hard pass for me, balling on a budget. Lol, slay. Okay. We went for an early dinner and she got rip-roaring drunk off margarita. I've never heard rip-roaring. Rip-roaring drunk off margaritas. That's a bit
ripping
of a
in.
twist. We then wanted to go to the strip club. Her maid of honor brought her a lap dance and apparently paid for a little something extra because they went in the back room and came out smelling like sex. Gross. Then she wants Taco Bell, proceeds to smash 5 soft tacos and then vomits it all back up in the backseat of my car. No, she didn't pay for it to get cleaned. That marriage lasted all of 6 months before she cheated and he found out. There's a lot of lowly dogs in these comments.
One time when I was in the Valley in Brisbane, there's a place called the Valley and it's where all the nightclubs are. Essentially, it's like a King's Cross back in the day. I was across the street from a Porto once and this girl punched a guy because he wouldn't give her a bite of his burger. And the police had to be called. She was getting like restrained by 3 police. I think I've got a picture of it on my old Instagram.
Can I say, doll? Very similar story to this. I was out in King's Cross one night, as I was as a young 18-year-old, and I was leaving the Goldfish, which was this club back in the day, which was fun. And there was this 6'5" guy on the ground, bleeding from his head, like passed out, and there's a girl with a kebab over him in one hand eating, another one with her phone, being like, "I need help." He's bleeding from the head, and she's like eating her kebab while she's calling for emergency service. I was like, "Doll, clearly it's not that urgent. You're huffing down your kebab."
You know,
I'm more worried about the guy on the ground.
You know, on that police statement, she would have had to say, because they're like, "What exactly were you doing?"
I was eating my 5-star doner kebab, you know.
Got the
Crazy.
mix, the lamb and the chicken.
Yeah, doll. Should we do one more, doll, before we wrap?
Let's do
Okay.
it.
A college friend got married the summer after we graduated. Her husband had his bachelor party the weekend before this in the same city, and he was honest about what they did that weekend, including going to the strip club. So the Bachelorette things are normal. We're having fun at a nice restaurant, but after a few drinks, the bride decides we need to go to the same strip club, in brackets, to just see what it's like. So we go. The bride started crying once she saw naked women dancing. The maid of honor, whose boyfriend was also at the bachelor party, started crying. The sister of the bride starts crying. So we're here, about a dozen women in a strip club, and a quarter of the group crying. What a way to celebrate getting married. What's with everything being strip club, so strip club centric?
I feel like,
Can I say,
yeah,
if you're needing to go to the strip club as part of your bachelor party,
I agree.
red flag.
I
Red
agree.
flag.
And they're like, one last night. And it's like, we've been dating for 8 years.
Look, and it's done. You know what I mean? There's not one last night. Your one last night was 8 years ago.
You guys, thank you so
All
much
right, guys.
for hanging out with us today. See you later.
Thanks, guys.
Mwah.